What's up, YTPC? This is DSG Pipe Smoker with another pipe smoking video. More specifically, I am doing a tobacco review on Firestorm, a blend by the RO series. It is not a Hearth and Home blend, as I mentioned a couple videos ago. That was a mistake on my part. It's put out by Russ Ouellette, who works for pipesandcigars.com, who also puts out the Hearth and Home series, hence my confusion. So, what is Firestorm? Firestorm is a VaPer burr. It's a Virginia, Perique, and Burley blend that uses dark-fired Kentucky as the type of burley that it uses. It's a ribbon cut. You can see. I have it here in a jar. Got a lot of golden there from the Virginia. There's a lot of brown too. That could be some brown Virginia as well. From what I've heard, they're using I think it's the anniversary cake for their Virginia mixture, and then they just added dark-fired Kentucky and some Perique. Don't quote me on that though. But yeah, the darker stuff, that's definitely Perique. There's also, like I said, some brown tobaccos in there. While that might also be the Virginias, it's also a good chance that a lot of those are also the Burley, the dark-fired Kentucky, to be more specific. Excuse me. The smell out of the tin, it's very earthy, very woodsy. You do get a little bit of the hay-like sweetness from the Virginias, but it is predominantly a very woodsy, very earthy kind of smell. Something you would expect if you were out camping. The smoking characteristics, because it's a ribbon cut, it's very easy to pack. It's relatively easy to light. Mine came at just the right moisture content. I'll pull this out for you guys again to show you what I'm talking about. So, when I go to pinch this, make a clump of it. See how it kind of clumps together, but if I let go of it, it'll kind of come apart on itself. And when I let go of the tobacco, there's no moisture on my fingers. It didn't crackle, it didn't make any noise. That's all a good thing. If it's too dry, it'll make noise. And it'll feel dry. If it's too wet, it'll almost leave like a little bit of moisture on your fingers. And when you go to clump it together, it'll stay clumped together. Like, you'll go to let it go, and it'll just, like it's almost a plug, it'll just kind of fall on its own little bundled up ball. It stays lit pretty well. If you don't haul on it, it won't bite, but then again, you shouldn't be hauling on your tobacco anyways, for reasons other than just avoiding tongue bite, because that's how you burn up your pipes. Nicotine Hit. Nicotine Hit was, I'd say it's about a medium. I'm pretty average when it comes to nicotine. Like, for example, I noticed Haunted Bookshop and Elizabethan mixture. Those two blends, I can't really smoke more than 1 or 2 bowls a day out of them. But at the same time, if something has a low nicotine impact or low nicotine content to it, I'm not really going to notice it. This one I did notice it a little bit, but it wasn't anything over the top. It was noticeable though, so I'm going to call that a medium. Now, let's talk about the flavor profile of the tobacco, and that's really going to depend on what you put it in. For example, if you put it in a pipe like this Dr. Graybo, notice how it has a fairly small bowl, both in chamber width and depth. Smoking it in a bowl like this really brings out the dark-fired Kentucky. It's not to say that you don't taste the Perique and the Virginia. You definitely taste the Perique, and the the characteristics of the Dark Fire Kentucky, it is a smokiness that you get from it, but it's not a campfire smokiness. I would compare it more to like a mesquite kind of smokiness, like kind of like a barbecue. If you can imagine, like a barbecue pit, and someone's cooking something in that barbecue pit. It's very savory. You get the spices, you get the smokiness from the briquettes being cooked, that kind of smokiness. So that's what you predominantly get in this blend, but especially if you smoke it in a pipe like this. Now, I have this pipe. I've never heard of this brand. Again, I talked about this pipe in my pipe collection video. This is my Tobacco Village pipe. But in a pipe like this, it's kind of conical. Let's see if I can. There we go. You see how it really narrows in the bottom of that chamber? This pipe will smoke Virginia Periques really, really well. So, like Elizabethan mixture, it smokes really well. What else do I have that it smokes really well? Bayou Morning. Bayou Morning smokes very, very well in this pipe. When I smoke the Firestorm in this pipe, what seems to happen is it'll start out as a Virginia Perique. It'll start out sweet and spicy. Then about halfway down the bowl, you'll get that smoky mesquite taste of the Dark Fire Kentucky. And that's been fairly common with my other Virginia Perique dedicated pipe. However, I watched a review from a channel called Classic Pipes. He's on YouTube. I think his name's Don. And I think he just moved recently. He hasn't made a video in a while, but he's done a lot of tobacco reviews if you guys want to check him out. Anyway, he did a review on Firestorm. And the way he described it wasn't something I can replicate in any of the pipes that I have until I bought this guy. And chamber dimension wise, it's fairly similar to my Graybo, though it is a little bit wider. But this, when I smoked Firestorm in this pipe, it smoked exactly how the guy who owns the Classic Pipe channel said it would smoke. It was sweet and smooth right at the forefront. As you got down, the Perique started to show up, and then the Dark Fire came, and these transitions came in thirds. So, this video has already gone over 8.5 minutes, so I'm going to make this conclusion short. If you're into Virginia Periques and you want to try a Dark Fire Kentucky blend, I highly recommend Firestorm. If you are somebody like me who really, really likes Dark Fire Kentucky, wants something that is a good all-day smoke, this is an excellent tobacco that's going to fit the bill. It's not going to have the huge Dark Fire Kentucky punch that, say, Orlick Dark Strong Kentucky is going to have, but you can smoke it and enjoy that mesquite taste without getting too bogged down with it or bored with it. It's just a good, solid blend. I would even go so far as to recommend it to novices, because it doesn't really bite too hard. Again, as long as you don't haul on it, but you shouldn't be doing that anyways. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this tobacco review. This has been DSG Pipe Smoker with another pipe smoking video, and have a good day.